Hi guys, it's Chris the Ultimate Recycler. Welcome back to the channel, and this is episode 3 of the Great Shop Cleanup series. That's going to be a ripper of a series, I'm sure. I can feel it in my bones. Where am I today? Well, I'm at my secret storage facility, and why, you may ask, because you have a shop to clean out and there's a bit of a deadline looming. Well, it's not so secret, I guess. This storage shed is on the same property, and of course this is being sold. I have to clean this out as well. So I thought I'd make a start in this episode, just sort of appraise what we've got. There's some bigger stuff here we've got to get rid of. I'm going to start with an old air conditioner that I need to take home to scrap. So I've got the van backed up around the side there. We'll load that in a second, but let's have a look at what else we've got to deal with here. So it's just one bay in this shed, and I've got a lot of stuff stashed here from some big deals I did not that long ago. You may remember, if you've been watching the channel for a while, there was a huge workshop clean out deal where I got my lathe from. There's a mini bike in there, a Honda mini bike, very collectible items those. There's a larger Honda bike down the back, which unfortunately it looks like birds have been roosting on. They've made a hell of a mess, so hopefully it hasn't damaged the paint. There's some larger stuff here from the farm. A cat cage or a possum cage. This is the little trike runabout thing that Dad used to use on the farm. I've got to sell that. There's some lawnmower, there's a fire pump. There's also these bikes. Now I was going to kind of fix them up, but at this, given the current situation, I think I'll just drag them out, may give them a bit of a wash over or a wipe over and just sell them as projects. This air conditioner I'm going to take home to scrap. Ironically, this air conditioner came out of my old shop, and I used this air conditioner for at least, well, almost 19 years. It worked really well. The builder, when they renovated the shop, pulled it out. He said the gas has been removed, we're right to scrap it. So I'll get some good scrap out of that. I'll take that home. There's a lot of stuff on this racking. This racking came from a storage shed clean out. We did a storage unit in a nearby town, and I did have a series on that as well, and I always thought it'd be handy racking, and it's been quite useful back here. Not sure what I'm going to do with it. I don't think I've got room for it in my shed, but we're going to empty it off anyway. There's lots of boxes of stuff. There's some vintage computer gear. There's all sorts of stuff that came from a shed clean out that I also filmed. So a lot of the series that you've watched about emptying sheds and houses, and you know, I never quite get to the last of it. Well, there's a fair bit of stuff stashed in here that will be for sale. We have to process. I don't really want to take it home to, well, some I will, to sort out and maybe test. Possibly the motorbikes I'll take home to clean up so I can sell them, but the bikes just might go straight out of the front of the shop even this weekend perhaps. We've got to start making some headway here. First thing to do is to load this air conditioner. I've just been dragging the bikes out and wiping them down, brushing them off so they look a bit more presentable. I was going to take them home and wash them, but I don't think it's worth the hassle. Besides, if someone's going to buy these, they're going to restore them and they can wash them. This one, the Avanti Hammer Pro, is around about 2000 era, I believe, late 1990s. Kind of collectible, not really, I guess they call it vintage as far as mountain bikes go. It was a reasonably good one at the time, and judging on some results I saw, I think I'm going to ask $100 for that. It's complete, it appears to be in pretty good condition, does need a good clean up, and it's going to need tyres and tubes. But checking eBay and a few things like that and asking II, some of these parts are going to add up to a lot. That's a Shimano crankset, even the wheels, the Mavic wheels. I could part them out and do much better, but I don't have the time, and that's a good complete bicycle, easy restoration for someone that wants one. $100, I think we'll get a bite at that. The other one over here, I couldn't find a lot about, but I believe it was quite an expensive one in its day. Similar era, late 1990s, Hard Rock HR Pro, and it's got similar wheels, and I did find some wheels of this type. It's the Mavic X222. that were bringing $50 to $100 a pair in good condition. I'm not sure if these are warped or anything. The crankset again, and the brakes I could part out and do much better, but I think I'm going to ask 50 for that one. As it is, it's obviously missing the seat and the pedals, and it certainly needs, well, it will need tyres and tubes. And yes, as I said, I don't know if the rims are actually bent or anything, so we'll try and get 50 for that. We've got to pass them on quickly. This old girl's a vintage Malvern Star. It's a lady's bicycle. It's only got the 1 star. I think when Malvern Star had different grades of bicycles, they had extra stars. Well, there's one at the top and one at the bottom on the headset. I'm not sure. It's got its original artwork, although it's a bit faded. But it's a pretty cool looking bike. It's a really nice vintage look. I'm not going to, it certainly wouldn't be worth parting this out because the sum of the parts makes the attractive item. It's quite a bit of rust on it. It's pretty cool. It's got a headlight sitting up there and the bell. I think I'll get 50 for that. It probably would date back to the 60s maybe. So pretty cool piece. This will add up to a bit. Hopefully we'll sell them. I'm going to put them out the front of the shop this weekend. Okay, this BMX one is pretty cool, but it's well weathered and I can't find any markings on it. There's probably a serial number underneath. AI tells me that it's a Schwinn Hurricane. I think I remember that right. Late 1970s, maybe 1980. It's got a Skyways rear rim, and apparently some of the other extras are add-on. Well, they're not original, so it actually called it a rat rod as far as a vintage bike goes. BMX stuff is very collectible, and the value suggested was 150 to 200 in this condition. Actually, it said a bit more than that. I think I'm just going to try 100 because it is rough, it's a bit rusty, and it's obviously not all original. But the frame looks pretty solid, and I'm sure someone that's into restoring these things would see value, and they're probably getting pretty hard to get. So I'll try 100 on that one. I might even hang that up from the ladder in the shop, or it'll look pretty cool up above, as long as it doesn't fall on anyone. This last mountain bike looks complete. It's a Pro Gear KX250. Similar era, maybe early 2000s mountain bike again. It looks in pretty good condition, this one. But it's certainly been weathered a little bit, and it's probably going to need tubes. The tyres might be okay, or they've perished. So it's been in the weather a bit long. AI doesn't seem to think this one's as good as any of the others, so it's suggesting only about $80 to $100. I might put 80 on it. We'll see how we go. It would be a pretty easy fix up. It's even got a bicycle pump there. It's got a headlight, which needs remounting, and a little what's that, like a tacho or a speedometer, something, maybe just a timer. There's even a mirror there, and the pack rack. So it's a complete unit. The seat looks okay. We'll try $80 on that one and see how we go. So I'm going to have a pretty big display of bicycles out the front when we open next. Hopefully the weather's nice. Okay, I've just poked the bikes back in there because the weather forecast isn't that flash for tomorrow, and even this evening rain, and it's going to get quite windy. So we'll see how we go, but I want to get them out and into the shop as soon as possible, otherwise they won't sell. I'll have to deal with Dad's little trike here. I have some instructions or something for it at home, and I don't know if there's a spare battery. There might be some parts for it. He used to go well. He used to have his golf clubs on the back here. He made up a little frame, and so he could practice his golf and ride around the farm picking up golf balls. Remember that he had only one leg from a farm accident, which he lived with very well, actually. He adapted very well for, nearly 18 years or something before he finally left us. So, yeah, anyway, I shall work out what to do with that. We're not going to keep it, we're going to sell it. And hopefully the bikes will go on. That will make a fair bit of space in here. Just before we go, we might have a bit of a peek in this old garbage can here. And also just behind it, there's one of those bench vise things for woodwork. It looks pretty rusty. It's probably happened while it's been stored here, unfortunately. It's a Black & Decker one by the looks of that. Workmate. So we're not going to get a lot of value for that. I'm assuming it all works. We might just ask $20 or $30. I'll stick that out at the shop when I have a moment. What's in this tin though, or this can? Oh, shed stuff. I forget which deal this actually came from now. We have lots of, well, that grindstone's going to have to be rubbish. You can't use those when they get old because the binding material that holds all the grit together breaks down, and if you spin them too fast they explode. That's a guard from a bench grinder. I think there is a bench grinder in here somewhere. So some hand saws. We have Tenon saws, they will sell quite well. Not worth a great deal, but maybe $10 or so. Bit rusty, but yeah, that one's not too bad either. The nicer ones to get have a brass spine, and these are all steel, but some of the early ones are brass along there, and they look fantastic polished up. They also have very ornate handles, the older ones, but those ones, can't see a brand on that one. Spear & Jackson, I think, a well-known saw manufacturer. Oh yeah, it says it on the spine there, a bit rusty. They would clean up better, but I don't have the time. I think I'll put them in the shop at $10 each. And here, oh, that's not brass, is it? No. This is a destined, another famous saw manufacturer. Quite fine teeth on that one. Again, I think it's probably just going to be a 10. This is a much more modern hard point saw. You can't sharpen these. They kind of use them until they go blunt and then throw them away. Although when they are blunt, you can use them for jobs that don't require such aggression, like even cutting plasterboard or something. That feels very blunt though. Warrior is probably maybe an Aldi brand made in China, so no real value there. A nice vintage made in Australia hacksaw, which is adjustable to take the shorter blades as well. That's a double-sided blade. You don't see that very often. It did have a brand here. I can't quite read it. But that's a nice piece. I think that'll be at least $10. And another tenon saw, much the same as the others. Now we have a little pressure cooker camping stove. These sell quite well. Some people do polish them up. They look magnificent polished up, but I'm not going to go to that trouble. And there's the top for it. And we have another one in here. Whoops. So I'll just wipe them off, or blow them off with the air compressor or something, and put them in the shop fairly cheap, probably just $10 each again. I just price a lot of things at $10 each. It's just really easy to, don't have to worry about change generally. That's an Eclipse English-made hacksaw, but it's really had some pressure on here. That it's like a, I don't think it's cast aluminium. Cast aluminium generally doesn't bend like that. It must be some sort of die cast, and it's had extra stress on that, and it's curved it round. But it's still a nice vintage hacksaw. Don't know if we'll get 10 though. And not sure what this is. Oh, that's a chain dog, I think, for tying down a load on a truck. It's a slightly different design than what I've seen before. But you can obviously get a fair bit of leverage on that hook. I have to check that out, but that should sell okay. And the last thing in here, a couple of horse hames. Fairly plain looking ones. And they were designed to go around the old collars, leather collars that were packed full of straw that sat around the neck of your old bullocks and your draft horses for pulling loads back in the early days. And one of these, or this set of hames, went around the leather collar, and it's where you hook the chains up to. So they were part of the original harness set for draft horses and bullocks. They're quite small ones, and they're just all steel. Some of the earlier ones had timber inside them, and they had nice hooks with trademarks on them. They're very collectible. I think we'll probably just put 10 on that set, hang them up. They're only decoration now. And the bin itself, I might take it home just to keep my scrap metal in it. It's handy to keep something out the back. It doesn't have to be undercover, and it won't fill up with water, and it's galvanized so it won't rust. So I'd probably sell it for $20 if I was going to, but I think I'll keep that one. All right, I'll pack this away for now, but at least I know what's in here, and I can drag most of this out and put it straight in the shop when we're open. Oh, that's a heavy air conditioner. Okay, well, another episode finished. We've got some stuff out of the shed, or the back of the shop, and, well, the secret storage place, and we have some more stuff to put in the shop to sell this weekend. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.